it's Kaya in today's video. Okay, so let's backtrack. For the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've been on like a Netflix binge, rewatching some of my favorite shows, including All American, because I said, you know what? This season here, season 3, was the season that everything changed for me. It was the season that I became Team Spelivia all the way, because before I was like, that's Layla's man. So I went back and I was looking because I was like, what was I not seeing before? And y'all, my eyes, I realized they were closed. They were just seeing what they wanted to see, you know? And now, as a full supporter of Spelivia, I said, dag, the things that I was condoning the first time around watching this show, crazy. Going back and rewatching the show, throughout it, you see the scenes with Spencer and Liv where it's just the two of them. And you could, if you're paying attention, then you could really see how they were molding them back then to basically become what we got in season 3. And I was like, dang, I didn't see that before because I didn't want to see it. And now looking at it, I was like, you know, it's even better, I feel, this time around because I got the experience of pushing for him and Layla, which was one relationship, and now I get to see his relationship with Liv, who I think is his forever person. Okay, so starting with episode 1, off the bat, I realized it, but I wasn't accepting it at the time, that Liv saw him first. Liv was nice to him first. Liv was the one who recognized that she was starting to have these feelings for him first. And, you know, back then I was just like, okay, he seems like he notices her in a sense that, okay, she's being nice to me, she'll make a good friend. And you could tell that she was feeling him because y'all saw the little glance she gave him when he came back to her table to share her little computer with her. There's a little side glance because she actually gets to see him, and it was just her initially being nice to him and allowing him to come and, you know, work with her. But when she saw him and she looked at him, really, she was like, oh, I feel an attraction there. I ain't peeped that before. Now I see it. And I was like, all right, girl, I know you noticed him. So then they get to the courtyard, right? And homegirl, she is showing mans around. And that's another thing because, yeah, she's a nice person, but she was going to lengths to be nice to this dude. She was showing him around campus because every minute she could spend with him, she was going to spend with him because she had to really get to know him, you know? So she's doing all that. And then this is where the first thing comes in. At the time, I ain't paid too much attention to it. And now I see it because Layla comes walking to the courtyard, right? And then they had the audacity. They had it in the slow-mo, wind blowing, and she is strutting through. And he just stops. And Liv, you know, she was in the middle of talking too, and he looks at Layla.
Smart and funny, I'm impressed.
I walk a lonely road, I walk it all alone.
And she gives her little spill about who Layla is and everything like that. And he's eating it up too because now he recognizes another girl who he feels an attraction to this one now because, oh, she looks like the pretty girl on campus, everything like that. Later we see, oh, and a little side note, we get Jordan also in this episode where he kind of was halting the situation between the two of them happening too.
QB, team captain.
Baker. Oh, so you must
Yeah, coach is my dad. Well, our dad. I'll take it from here, Olivia. Come on, let me introduce you to the team.
Jordan in this first episode was kind of a part of the problem with the way he was trying to dismiss my girl too. In that moment when he saw that she was showing mans around. Well, we're gonna let that slide. So the next time that they have a moment alone together is back in the courtyard, and they're meeting for the little sushi date, y'all. And so they're sitting there talking, and y'all, okay. Why no one told my girl that she had like a little, not even a little, that she had a powder stain all in front of her hairline? No one. And freaking either Spencer or Daniel could have told her, hey, oh, you got a little something right there. Girl, you got a little powder right there. So she's opening up to him about her time in rehab, her and Jordan's relationship and everything, how they used to be close, not so much anymore, stuff like that. He genuinely seems to care and, you know, notices her. She even says, you know, you're the first person to really ask me, you know, how I'm really doing in this. She's talking to him. Conversation is going great. And then Layla walks up, right? I said, dang, again? Like when I tell you this girl, like her Spencer radar is on this girl, it's like she could sense him and she was just anywhere he was, that's where she was gonna be. Doesn't even say anything to Liv. She just immediately starts talking to Spencer and then just says bye to Liv. I was like, that was another thing. Like, girl, how you gonna sit here and say bye when you ain't even say hi? That's ridiculous. And she was just inviting him to the party of it. You could tell that Liv, this was another moment for them where you could see their relationship building because she's starting to open up to him. She's also seeing that he cares enough about her to want to know how she's doing and how she's feeling and everything, and he's showing this interest, you know. And for someone to walk up, and of all people to be Layla, and just butt in on the situation and this conversation that's happening between the two of you, like, man, come on, she's setting y'all back. And that's exactly what she did. It was a setback for her. Once again, Layla came prancing in and he looked at Layla and he was just like, homegirl Liv, I realized she couldn't get enough of a chance, because even at his game that was later, she was trying to wait for him, you know, she was seeking him out on the field, and when she did spot him, she's trying to go up to congratulate him. Who popped up? Layla.
Congratulations!
Liv wanted to give him that congratulations, and she couldn't even do it in that moment. Homegirl, she didn't even chicken out. She didn't get the opportunity to do what she wanted to do. So then she just walked off and she looked so defeated.
Didn't know what they were planning. I would never do something like that. If I had known,
It's okay.
It's not. But...
And I was just looking like, dang. She was trying, you know? She was trying to make these efforts here to build up this relationship and work off of this attraction that she felt towards him. And she couldn't do that because Layla kept buttoning every chance she got, even though homegirl had a boyfriend. That was another thing I realized. This is Spelivia, but for a second here, let me just tell you, I was not really focusing on the fact that Layla had a boyfriend this entire time. You know, Asher didn't even seem like he fit for her for me anyway, but she still had him. And you're still making all these efforts to show yourself to this new guy and build this connection with this new guy like you don't already have a guy. And I was like, yo, can you leave him for someone else? That's me now. Before I was like, yep, go get him, girl. But now I'm like, dad, you could have left him for someone else, someone like Liv. And now you pushed her back 2 seasons before she could get with this dude. And my girl had to wait. When homegirl briefly saw his goods coming out the shower and he was over there smirking, he knew she was feeling him. Thinks she's cute as well, or he thought she was cute as well. But at the time, he was also feeling Layla, and he was feeling Layla just more so because it was the chase. And for Liv, you know, she was being nice. He didn't really feel that connection there. It was something that, it took some time to grow. Whereas Layla, it was just that initial attraction, but there wasn't no deep emotions or anything to their relationship. Just a physical sort of attraction. I think it's great too because him and Layla's relationship, because of how it started with her being in a relationship with someone else, him just initially seeing her and feeling that attraction towards her, but not really knowing much about her history, who she really is, you know, things about her. Whereas with him and Liv, it was started as that friendship, and that was something that they were able to build over time. Even up front, they were having these really deep conversations where he was really getting to know her. Because he didn't have that initial, you know, like hard-hitting attraction towards her, even though you could tell she was feeling him, it was easier for him to just see her as a friend and build on that friendship, and to not only have her open up to him, but for him to open up to her as well. I think that's what solidified where each of those relationships are at this point in time, because him and Layla, the way it started, it led to something that was only temporary, whereas with him and Liv, because of how it started, it ended in something that's gonna last, y'all. And I was like, yep, because y'all started from a good foundation, you know. Following up with when they're going to meet with the boosters, everyone's supposed to be dressed to impress, and they see homeboy walking out with his everyday attire on, and they're like, oh, Spencer, you know, like, what's going on? And homie, you know, it's a struggle for him, so he ain't have no nice clothes. And homegirl stepped in and was like, you know what, I'll stay back and I'll help Spencer out, and puts him up in her daddy's clothes, but it fit, and she made him look good, was over there fixing him up at the bottom and everything. You know, homeboy, he noticed too, because he was like, you know, you're good at this, making people feel better. And I was just like, yo, you know, he's starting to recognize her in this moment here and who she really is as a person. So kind-hearted, you know. And then it's just the little pauses that they have here. Even when her whole family was standing there and they're trying to figure out, like, oh, what do we do in this situation? And she looks so concerned for him because she feels bad that homie didn't have no nice clothes to wear to this dinner. But she stepped up for her future boo. When they're at the booster party and they come walking down the steps together, who come walking up? Ridiculous, man. Yeah, okay. And then she was like, oh, okay. I said in like one of my recent videos how Liv's clapbacks this last season have been on point and how they weren't this strong in season 1. That's a lie. Now looking back, that is a lie, because Layla was like, oh, sorry if I interrupted something. And Liv was like, oh, I mean, hey, why stop now? Girl, how did I miss it the first time? I said, yeah. Irritation. There's irritation all over Liv's face because she's like, when am I gonna catch a break? I sat here. Layla was like, you look great in your suit. Liv was like, I put him in that suit, you know? And she just want to have a conversation. Just one night, uninterrupted. And she can't even have that. And now with Layla over here telling him that, you know, I know the boosters would love to meet you, yada yada. She knows she's not going to be able to spend much time with him tonight either. So it's a struggle. She can't get no good footing, you know, to build this relationship at this point in time. And I think that's also what I wasn't seeing is the fact that she was trying so hard to build this relationship, where I was just seeing the relationship that was coming easy to him with someone else's girl. That was wrong. When she bumped into homie at the hangout with everybody, she was like, oh, come hang out with us. And she was like, oh, no, you know, I'm just going to grab some food and head home. But the main important part of this whole scene, I ain't realized.
You fitting in with the cool kids.
I don't know about all that. On the field, maybe, but off the field, stuff was kind of...
Of course.
She was finishing homeboy sentences. And I was like, that's a connection right there. That when you could finish someone's sentence, crazy. So everything that's happening right now leading up until when he inevitably gets with Layla is Liv's way of making an effort, because he's not with anyone at this point in time and she's not with anyone. She feels something for him and she wants to get to know him more. So when she shows up to his place to invite him to go to Ash's party with her, oh, you know, also what I realized that was so cute is, you know, she was like, oh, you know what I did last week? I stayed home and watched Girls Trip 3 times. He was like, oh, great movie. The first movie thing, y'all, because y'all know they spent the summer watching movies and everything together. And I was like, oh, that is so cute, man. So we get that initial thing. So they probably, who knows how many movie nights they've had up until this point. Season 3 now. We like the same movie. Wow. So she invites him to Asher's party. She's in her cute little outfit and everything. He senses something there and he knows that she's feeling him. But at the same time, you know, he has these feelings building up for someone else as well. In a way. He also has football on his plate. She doesn't have much going on. She's in recovery and she's in school and everything, but she doesn't have a relationship. This is a guy that she now she met and she has an interest in. So she's trying to work off of that, but then also she feels nervous in a way because she's not a part of the in crowd. She's on the football team. Her brother's on the football team. Their relationship at this point isn't the strongest. He loves this friendship that they're building with each other and the fact that they can have these great conversations with one another because they are friends. At the same time, he has these feelings that are coming up for another girl. Whereas for her, it's harder for her to really push for anything more than this friendship right now with him. And she's trying to make an effort, you know, to invite him places and things like that. But it's because he's now becoming a part of the in crowd for the most part because he's on the football team. She is nowhere in that crowd, you know. She's pretty much a loner at this point because of what she's been through and just the type of person that she is. She doesn't fit in. Her and Layla, who they used to be best friends, their relationship is a little strained right now, and she knows that Layla's feeling this dude in a way and she's supposed to be with someone else. So how is that gonna work? It shouldn't. Girl, you sitting here talking about, oh, you know, I know you like him, make an effort, yada yada, but you keep butting in because you know you feeling him too. So he was trying to make an effort and play into some of those feelings because when they get to the party, you get the little handhold, the little back touch from him as he's walking away, the smiles when they're talking and everything. He knows how she feels and he knows that he has some feelings as well. Let me just see where this goes because I have a genuine friendship with this girl. So if it does turn into something more, it is what it is at this point. So when he ends up losing all his dare chips and Layla doing what she thinks is a joke, sending them skinny dipping into the jacuzzi together, when they're in there, and I'm like, okay, they get their little moment here, and you could clearly see that there's something between them at this point in time, and that they're trying to play off of.
Am I talking too much?
Kinda.
Then I'm gonna stop talking.
Good idea.
But they can't catch a break.
Olivia?
Jordan?
Party's over.
You know, this is another setback for them. I think that's what it was, is the fact that it was just these little moments that they were having, like little small glimpses here and there of what it could be for the two of them. You know, looking back at their relationship, we'll put it as the three of them, Spencer, Layla, and Liv, and the dynamic between the three of them. Layla was more focused on, oh, this guy is cute. She didn't know much about his history and everything. He really was where he came from, much like that. Like, it came over time for her, whereas Liv got a lot more of that information up front because she also was opening up to him. The simple fact that she cared about this guy from the very beginning and she wanted this relationship with him, and it's something that she really tried, you know, to get to know him. She was nervous to really put herself out there, really push more into those feelings that she felt for him romantically, and to see where that would take her, just because of her history and the people that were around her, because now Spencer is in that circle as well. So how would that play out for the two of them, you know, trying to find out where she really fits. And that's also something that she was trying to figure out, like, get her footing back, especially after going to rehab and everything, find her footing back in the world, in this school life. And I think for her, because now you meet this guy who comes into your life and everything has been for you, like, you've just been living day to day. You went through something that was very serious, and you know, you and your brother, your twin brother at that, your relationship isn't what it used to be. Your best friend, that relationship isn't what it used to be. Even with your parents, you know, that's something that you're still working on because they were the ones who had to actually send you to rehab and everything like that. So now you meet this guy who, he comes from a pretty rough background. He has struggles of his own, and you're able to open up to him in a way. And on top of being able to open up to him, you feel this attraction towards him. And it's the first time in a long time that you have someone that you can really talk to, express your feelings to, and vice versa. you know? So those feelings for you are building over time. At this point in time, this is the closest person to you, because everyone else, those relationships are things that you have to build back up now. And with Spencer, it seems to come so easy that you're able to open up to him. You have this attraction towards him, and he's a nice person. He has struggles of his own, but he has goals and everything like that. And it's new and it's refreshing. You're open to see where it goes, but it seems like every step that you're taking to try to see where this could go, you're getting pushed like 2 steps back, because people who are supposed to be there for you, or were supposed to be there for you, are the ones that keep pushing you back when you're trying to go forward. And that's why homie was over here struggling, and I was a part of the problem too, because I wasn't seeing that she was really feeling this dude and was really trying to just have a connection with one person, you know, build this relationship with one person. And that one person who she met first, that she was building that relationship with, people keep pulling him in every which direction and trying to control. Then Jordan had homegirl thinking for a bit that that was her brother. So it kind of halted where they were going, you know, for a little bit there, because they had to figure that situation out. Like, ew, that's nasty. But it wasn't true. But by the time they got all that situated and everything, Layla was digging her way in. So when she does finally get to try to be alone with him again, is when she's coming to meet him at the hangout, and she sees him kissing Layla. She sees Layla kissing him, and I was just like, yo, because she knew that Layla was feeling him and was just trying to play it off in a bad way, but she didn't think that it was to the point where they were actually going to act on it. So seeing them sitting here kissing, that's why homie had her little breakdown and was crying and couldn't take it. She had to walk away, because she's really feeling this guy, or she is really feeling this guy still. In this point in time, she's still really feeling this guy. And you see this girl who used to be your best friend, you guys had a falling out, weren't talking for a while there. You meet this guy now, she meets this guy, same guy, she starts feeling this guy, acting like she don't. Then she wants to sit here and be trying to push you to, oh, I know you like him, why don't you try to act on those feelings and see where it goes. But at the same time, she keeps butting in with this same dude because she knows she likes him too, but she's not really trying to let anyone else know that she's feeling him. Mad shady. And wants to be friends again, so starts trying to work on that relationship between the two of you to build that back up. And now all of a sudden, you see her kissing the guy. What happened to, oh, you should let him know. Why don't you go for it, you know? And now you see her kissing that same dude. If that's not shade, I don't know what. So she's hurt by that, because everything that she's been working towards this entire time since meeting Spencer and getting to know him, out the window. And, you know, this is a one person that she's really been close to this entire time. And now that was just, it was a punch in the face. I said, I see why people were feeling for her, because I feel for her. She didn't deserve that. So following all that, when Spencer gets into the relationship now with Layla, you know, Liv is, yeah, I'll give her credit. Liv is being a good friend. Yes, she has her ups and downs, especially when everyone finds out about her and Asher. Hunger had a little slip up. And then at one point, you know, she gets to meet Chris. They start a little something there. It don't last too long. And even Chris noticed that she was feeling Spencer. Lets him know, you know, this girl, she was feeling you. She is feeling you. I don't know how to compete with that. And Spencer was trying to deny it, but he knew what was up. At that point in time, him and Layla were trying to see where this thing was going. So Spencer had a lot to work through. And Liv was just trying to figure out where to go from here. Going on with him now being with Layla, Liv and Spencer's relationship as friends, it wasn't as strong as it was in the beginning. because, you know, he had this new relationship and he was spending a lot more time with his girlfriend and everything like that, you know. So it created a little bit of distance between the two of them because he didn't have that much free time now to spend with her. But because of where they started with their friendship, it was so secure that, you know, it's something that was always going to be there for the two of them. The fact that, this is why I said, Liv, girl, I was so wrong to you these last few years, you know? Because when Layla was over there having her little breakdown, when her house got broken into and she was scared to be alone, Liv came strolling up through there with her little pillow, was like,
I know how I'd feel like this happened to me, so I figured you might need a little company.
like, girl, I got you, don't worry. And then when she sat there and destroyed her house again because she was going through some things, that was the first time right there. And Liv was there once again.
The door's open.
No matter what, Liv would still show up, you know? And I was like, she took your man and you're still there to help her. That's dedication. Now season 2 is where Liv was trying to get her way back in a little bit with Spencer, because y'all know this was the season that Layla was going a little cuckoo. So she was like, you know what? She was there for her friend though. Both of them. But still, homegirl, because she was so, that's what happens. Good things happen to good people. And because she had a good heart, things were looking up for her. Liv and Spence, they knew Layla was going through some things, so they went and was trying to get her the help she needed. She was denying it for a bit there, but then she ended up caving in, right? Because she knew things was not right when she had that whole breakdown. And Liv, listen, Liv had to make do for a little bit because she ain't have Spencer right now. So she got with Asher, but we knew that wasn't gonna last because that's not where her heart was. And it didn't. So then they got to it was the Cotillion episode. All right, so this Cotillion episode was the whole turning point. It was the start of the turning point. It hadn't officially turned yet for me, you know? But it was a start because I was still pushing for Spencer and Layla in a way at this point in time. Well, I was still pushing for them, y'all. I was. But I wholeheartedly felt and saw that connection between Layla and Jordan at the Cotillion, where he went and met up with her outside because she was afraid to go in. He came in with homie. He was sitting at the table with homie talking to her, trying to get her to go up to Spencer and talk to him, you know, because she was feeling better now, fresh out of rehab. But just seeing the two of them together, I was like, not only do they look amazing together, but you could sense that connection between the two of them, and might be something here, you know? And then with Spencer, because him and Layla, they were no more at this point. She broke up with him. She had to go away. She back now, but they still not together. So he a free man. And he ended up stepping in with homegirl Liv because Asher, he wasn't a mind reader. So he ain't no girl really wanted him to be there, you know? So when he steps in and he's her date for the Cotillion and everything, at the end, she kisses him on the cheek. It was on the cheek, y'all. And then they go to like slightly pull away, but they're still right here by the face, and it's like a slight pause. I was like, they're holding it a second there.
Congratulations.
I said, you know, I ain't peeped that before. And then when I saw it this time around, I looked, I said, oh, he saw it too. And he was looking so, he looked hurt. He looked hurt and he looked annoyed because he came up in there with his little suit and he thought he was going to do something. But then he saw another dude already stepped in for his girl. It's not really your girl, man. Asher knows what's up. Spencer knows what's up. Liv looks. Liv was just like, but she know what's up, and she wasn't about to deny it either because he got her tight. He ain't show up when he was supposed to. And Spence, he was just, he knows. Spence knows, like, you feel this girl. And now, Layla not even in the picture right now. Well, kind of. Y'all made a promise. But, you know, you feeling Liv and Asher, it's not gonna last. And he know that. And he knows that Liv has feelings for him. So, and he knows those feelings didn't go away just like that. Look at these moments y'all been having. Still, they all know what's up. That was the first sign right there. The next sign was that bullet that Spencer got. When he sat there and whoop, He said, get you out the way. I'm gonna take that bullet for you, girl. And I said, yo, he got shot for her. I mean, he probably would have got shot for like Layla too. But in that moment, because it was Liv, he took that bullet for Liv, man. And that was another thing, because the fact that I sat here and jumped in front of her and protected her, and from her perspective, he sat here and got shot and took a bullet, and I'm sitting here, I'm alive because of him. That traumatic experience that they both got to experience together. I mean, that's a whole nother level right there. When Spence was laid up in that hospital after being shot, and y'all see the difference between Liv and Layla? That girl Liv, fair. She was so shaken up. Her little lip was quivering and everything. She had the blood and stuff all over her still. She didn't even care about herself if she got shot. And it was because her life flashed before her eyes, because she thought she was going to lose Spencer. She didn't even know. His life was her life in that moment. I'll say, yo. That's how you know. And whereas Layla, when she showed up, she was just like, oh, I was just cleaning up. Sorry if I woke you. Like, where's your fear, girl? You was about to lose him after y'all just made y'all little promise. Wasn't that like last night? It was last night. And you not showing that much, attention to the fact that he got shot. He could have lost his life. So Liv came back to see Spencer at the hospital because she had him on the podcast. But she just wanted to see him. And them laid up in the bed, and she was like, thank you for saving my life. And he was like, anytime. I was like, and he mean that too, girl. You could feel it. Them laying up in that bed together with him being hurt, they look so cute laid up in there injured. I said, look at them. Season 2 finale decision. Liv girl, she ain't been sleeping good. And we also see her going towards her little jewelry box, which we all know what was up in there. And it's the fact that Spencer was enough of a distraction that she no longer had to think about it. She was so quick to get away, mostly because she was startled someone was coming in. Her mind is taken off of what she was about to do, but it's still on the fact that she hasn't been able to sleep and everything that she's been going through that has been stressing her out. Following that shooting, y'all, family life and her and Ash's relationship, which has been going downhill. I mean, that relationship was doomed from the day it started. But it was nice for a little bit there. Talking to him for a few minutes made that better in a way, because you can genuinely see that he cares for her. And he kept asking, are you okay? And have you reached out to your sponsor? And then also their little movie nights, because he was like, you haven't been to our midnight movie view. Knows she hasn't been sleeping well and that she's going through these issues, and that he recognizes them and he truly cares about what she's going through. So he's expressing interest in those things, let me make sure she's good, because I really want to make sure that she's in a great space and that her head is in the right place. If she needs me, I want to be there for her. So, and she realizes that, and she appreciates the fact that he is there for her and everything, but she's just trying to work through everything, and it's hard for her with everything that's going on. The thing with Liv is she's a very caring, kind-hearted person. So yes, those feelings for him are still there. They never went away. But at the same time, she's now in this relationship with Asher, and unlike Layla, y'all, old me would never. Unlike Layla, she's not going to step on anyone's toes and hurt someone in a way knowingly, So she appreciates the fact that he's there, he cares and everything, but she's gonna keep it to a level of, this is my friend and everything, and he wants to be there for me and stuff like that. And her and Asher right now, she doesn't know what that relationship is, because they're kind of going through some things. Asher's going away for the summer, so she's all over the place. She's in no place right now to where she can fully go after what she wants with Spencer, and that's what she's trying to work through, is these issues that she's experiencing. Homegirl got a lot going on. When Spence showed up for Homegirl back at the crib, and he was like, I came to check on you, make sure you good. I said, he came back for her. Y'all. Before, I was just like, oh, you know, they're having a little movie night and everything. In my head, I was still like, oh, you know, Layla's still in the picture because they made that promise. What promise? No, out the window. He had to take a second. He was like,
I thought I was alone.
Hey. You ain't never alone. You always got me.
he couldn't handle it, you know, and she had already relapsed at that point. She had a little sippy sip. He was too late in that aspect, but he was there in time to not leave her alone for the whole night and had their little movie night. And I was like, dang, yo, this was it. This was the point where for her, it is what it is. She knows her feelings for him. They're clear as day. For him, though, I feel like this was the point where he really started to see how he felt about her. And this was the start of a great summer for them. And we all know how summer went, because now we at season 3. Well, we didn't have season 3. Now we're gonna go to season 3. Okay, so you know what's great when doing it this way is the fact that everything leading up until Vegas, when watching it live when it came out, was the aftermath of Vegas. So now, looking back on Spelivia for season 3 and how their relationship developed, we can go from Vegas and then backtrack to the beginning of the season and have more of an idea as to how they would have been thinking and how things really played out following what we got, like what really happened in Vegas. Oh, this is gonna be good. So basically, we're gonna go from episode 7, roll the dice, jump back to episode 1 up until episode 6 when the whole cabin thing happened, because that led up to what happened in Vegas, you know? And we know now what happened in Vegas. Okay, so starting initially with Vegas. Vegas is where it all went down for Spelivia. This is where the realization of everything happened, because they had just spent basically the whole summer together. And not only were they having those late movie nights, 12 a.m. movie nights, but because no one else was there during the summer, that they got to spend the days together as well for the most part. No distractions, no one else involved. So when you spend that much time together with someone you already have feelings for, and there's no other input coming in from the outside on what you're doing, the conversations that you're having, day in and day out, something's bound to happen. So when they do get to Vegas and, you know, he's there by himself, she's at home, he's missing her because they've spent all this time together. What they typically do for their nightly routine, he's not having it right now. And he's not having the best time where he is, even though it is in Vegas, without her being there. When he calls her, he's joking around.
What are you gonna do all day?
I don't know. Right, chilling this crazy ass suite, watch dumb movies.
Without me? Not cool.
Yeah, well, I guess you should have come then.
There's truth behind every joke, y'all. And she shows up because, yeah, he's joking about it, but he knows he means it. Yeah, she's laughing about it, but she knows she wants to go. And he put it out there that he wants her to be there. So when she does get there, the excitement that both of them feel is because they're each other's happy place. They know it too. His trip is looking up now. Her summer is back to looking up because she was going through it when he left home. And you know, at the time, she's still trying to be a good person because Asher's away. Layla is feeling him, and she thinks that him and Layla are going to get back together on this trip somehow, although she knows she doesn't want that to happen. So when the whole necklace thing took place, just seeing the look on his face, I was like, I know we're about to get some good stuff from this one episode here, that something good is about to go down, because the look that he gave her up in that shop when she was getting that necklace, I was like, yo, that's a look of love right there. what necklace. He wasn't even paying attention to the necklace. I mean, he was, because y'all saw he got it. But for the most part, he was staring at her just because it started to hit him a little bit there that things weren't looking up for me, and I wasn't having a good time until she got here. And just seeing her smile does something to me. You know, you can get all that from that look he gave her. I mean, that's what I got. So fast forward to the wedding, when they're standing there and they just get these flashbacks, both of them, of everything that they've experienced for the most part together leading up until this point, realizing that for her, the love that she felt for him never went away. And for him realizing, oh my God, I do love this girl. I'm in love with this girl, and I've been denying it this whole time because of everything else that's been going on around me. But because we've had so much time together, and looking back on everything that I've experienced with her leading up until this point, I can't deny those feelings anymore. So just seeing how that realization for the both of them played out at the wedding, oh my gosh, the way they filmed that though, ridiculous. It was so good. The look that they're giving each other, because they're both realizing not only at the same time that they are in love with each other, but that each of them are feeling the same exact way at this point in time. And they can't deny those feelings. And plus they're stuck here, standing here at this wedding, and they don't have anywhere to go right now but here. So let me just stare and be in shock, because I don't know what else to do right now. I can't run away.
Beautiful disaster when I crash into you.
We'll deal with it later. And that's exactly what they did. So later on, when he comes back to the hotel, because you know he had to go walk it off, and he had to go buy her necklace, and he comes in, homegirl, she can't take it, so she's packing up to leave, and he can't deny the feelings anymore, because Spencer's a pretty much, I mean, he was lying that whole time to Layla. I would say he's an honest guy. He is honest though. It's just when he chooses to be honest, you know, it'll come, but it'll come when he wants it to come. So he's not going to deny these feelings because it's something he wants, you know. He's going to go for it. Yes, she does kiss him, but, well, she kisses him back because he kissed her.
Spencer.
So when he tells her, no, I love you, I'm in love with you, it's what she's always wanted and what she's always wanted to hear. But because of who she is and who else is involved in this situation, it's hard for her to act on that at this point in time. That's also why she runs away, because it's hard for her to accept at this point in time. And then we see he goes on and ends up sleeping with Layla because, you know, Layla wanted him, and he felt bad for, you know, the possibility of denying her even after he told her he'd wait until she was ready. She was ready at this point in time, and I mean, yeah, he wasn't anymore, but he wasn't about to tell her that he was in love with her best friend. We're gonna use these quotations because they be on and off. He wasn't about to tell her that he was in love with her best friend and that he had just professed his love to her. So he ended up sleeping with Layla. Huge no-no, but he did it anyway because he felt bad for her. Now moving on to us being back home in California after Liv done disappeared on him, right? So now they're back at Beverly, and this is the first time that they've seen each other since Vegas, and they're making these little sly comments to each other about not seeing each other, not telling him about the event and everything that was happening at the school, and you can feel the awkwardness between the two of them and what took place. And now we know what it was that happened in Vegas, so just seeing how they're acting towards each other during that time and why they kept throwing around that word space, I was like, yo, why do they keep saying space like that? Like, space. Because they love each other, so they can't get too close, you know, because then they're not gonna know what to do. She's giving him these stares because the way they left things was very awkward, and for her to go running up into Asher's arms like that, and the look he has, now I understand that look that he has when she goes running up to Asher, because you not too long ago told this girl you were in love with her. Y'all had a whole moment. You gave her a necklace, my guy. Matter of fact, I gotta see if she was wearing this necklace. Hold
Thought
up.
it wasn't bad from his mom's cruise to the mall.
Me too. I missed you.
Alright, homegirl wasn't wearing it. She couldn't make it too hot. He told this girl how he feels, and she's still going forward with this relationship with this dude. I mean, we saw what happened with him and Layla, so he can't really be too hurt by that. But also, it's because she did turn him down when they were in Vegas. So the fact that he was trying to move on with Layla is because she turned him down. And then later on, when he shows up to the house unannounced, got the key and everything, he comes strolling up in there, and she come running down the stairs, and he sees Asher is with her, and his mind is just going. And you know, she looks a little guilty and a little taken aback because he showed up. And it's because of what has now been played out between the two of them. It looks like she's moving on, you know, with Asher to him, even though he has these feelings, and she was the one who pulled away from him. So he's hurt by this. And now, fast forward to the end, when he at the dinner, he telling them how, you know, his shoulder messed up because he's supposed to be a resource, so he don't know how he gonna be able to play. And he go to the kitchen, and she come to him, and she hugging up on homie, and she got to pull away, and they were holding it there, and I was wondering at the time, like, yo, why are they holding that little hug so long and looking like they about to kiss or something, because they already did. He was like, Liv, so we not gonna talk about what happened in Vegas? And she just looks, and I was like, yo, well, now I'm like, yo, I know what happened up in Vegas, and now I know why she don't want to talk about it, because it's too much. It's what she wants, but it's what she feels she can't have right now because of everything else. I'm like, yo, you know what's crazy? It's so much. Like, it was great watching it the first time too, not knowing like what really happened in Vegas, but now knowing that he was over there professing his love, and that they had their moment, and she was the one who walked away, and looking back at it now, it's so much better. So when Mans ends up getting back into his pity relationship, we see it's hard for Liv to make eye contact now with him when she's around Layla, because that's awkward. So when we see them at the hangout, and you know, when Layla opens up her big mouth and tells Spencer what was going on between Asher and Liv, and how Liv saw him up on the beach, yada yada, and he comes over to play pool with her, and he was like, oh, why didn't you tell me you went to see Asher after leaving me in Vegas? And she was like, oh, you mean the same way you got back with Layla right after I left? I said, yo, you know, those two things. And then I should have known from that point there, because at the time I was thinking that he had slept with Liv in Vegas, but I should have known Liv wouldn't have done that. And when she said that you got back with Layla, it should have registered that he probably would have slept with Layla, and that something else would have happened between him and Liv. I wouldn't have thought that he would have told her he was in love with her, maybe kissed her, but the fact that he did both, props to him. She's talking to him, and it's still awkward between the two of them, because it's hard for her to talk about what happened in Vegas and everything, knowing that she's not trying to make a relationship happen with him. He was just like, oh, I just want to make sure you're happy. And she was like, are you happy? Girl, no, he's not happy. And now looking back, because we see what happened in Vegas, the fact that he's the one who told you he was in love with you, kissed you, gave you that necklace and everything, he put his heart out there, and you're the one who walked away. And yes, he got back with Layla, but it was out of pity, and because she came to him in a time where you denied him, and you know, he felt like he couldn't say no to her. So, not condoning that relationship when he did, but he's not happy. He's making do, and he's just taking what he can get. So no, like, being with you is what would make him happy, and he can't have that right now. And right now your relationship isn't even a friendship really, so he's not in a good place, and he's just trying to get himself there, you know. And that's why his shoulder was probably jacked up. Then we have the Professor Crump combo that's taking place at the hangout between Spencer and Liv, and it's the first time that it seems like their friendship is coming back a little bit more into play since Vegas and everything. Letting her know that he's seeing a therapist about his shoulder due to the shooting. You know, he has this stuck point that he has to figure out and everything, but he's working towards getting all that situated. So the combo, it's going smooth, but at the same time, you can still feel a little bit of tension between the two of them that it's hard for both of them to deny. You can see that they're trying to really fight it to keep it as they have it right now. Whereas, you know, he's in this relationship and she is trying to make this relationship over here work. And they're just trying to feel each other out and see where they can go from here. So later, when he's up in, y'all, okay, now looking back at this, when he's up in Dr. Spears' office, looking back, and Dr. Spears is talking to him, trying to help him figure out this stuck point. Spencer mentions Olivia, and Dr. Spears like, oh, tell me more about her. So he's talking about Liv and how he met her. She's a dope person and everything. The way he's talking about Liv to Dr. Spears makes this realization, and he's like, you're in love with her. Spencer's like, what? No, I'm not in love with her.
Your feelings for Olivia aren't complicated, they're clear. You're in love with her.
Nah, Liv's just my friend.
He lied to us. He straight up lied. Because he already told her at this point in time that he was in love with her. And he sat here and told him, no, told us, I'm not in love with her. No, that's crazy. That's Liv. Like, that's my homie. That's the girl, you know? Yeah, that's the girl. That's your girl that you was over here professing your love to. I said, yo. And the fact that he kept, well, it wasn't even a straight face. The fact that he was always trying to play it off like those exact words did not leave his mouth just a few weeks ago. Crazy. He played us. So teenage love, when they all end up going to the cabin, in the beginning, we see Layla talking to Liv about how Spencer went up there and he wanted to be alone. And Liv, because she knows her man, she was like, you really think he should be alone? You know, I don't think he should be alone right now. Layla's just looking because she don't know what to do. She don't know him like that. I'm joking. She be knowing him sometimes. But she don't know him like Liv knows him. And they make the decision, Liv's decision, to go up to the cabin. And who's excited to see all of them? Spencer. And she made sure she let him know. Liv girl was the one that put it out there. And that's also why when he gave that look of appreciation, because at this point he already knew, you know, she knows me. And this is why I fell for her, because look how she showed up. When I didn't tell nobody that I wanted them to show up, but I wanted them to show up, you know? And she got that. That's also why Asher, he was able to recognize how they were when they were sitting by the little lake. Okay, we already recognized this season that Layla, she don't be seeing things. She be somewhere else. That's why he had to let her know, look, don't you see? Because he saw how they were sitting at that lake and the way they were talking and everything and interacting with each other. Because once you put it out there how you really feel about someone, it's hard to deny those feelings after that point and to hide how you really feel about each other from everyone else. So now that it was out in the open to each other, I mean, I couldn't see it though for a while. I mean, I knew something was there, yo. Like we knew something was there, but we ain't know. Well, I ain't know exactly what. And that's why he was able to recognize. Look at the way they're talking, and now back to their actual conversation. The fact that she showed so much interest into his dad and the letters that he was conflicted about from his dad. Should he read them? How it would affect his memory of his dad, affect him going forward. And the fact that he was able to really have this conversation with her, whereas when the topic was brought up to Layla earlier in the episode, it didn't go like this. You know, he's able to open up a lot more to Liv, and because she was so much more understanding of the situation, just let him speak, really hear him out, and genuinely cared for how he felt about the situation before giving her own opinion. Like I said, Asher knew.
It seems the sun will rise.
That's why he couldn't let it go. And that whole thing took place at the cabin, and he was just like, yo, I can't, you know, I'm a different person. The summer changed me, and I know you feeling spent. You can't deny it. I said, oh, yes, she is. And that was that. And then Layla, we saw what happened there. She was like, I'm going to ask you one time what happened in Vegas. You better not lie to me. And he ain't lie, y'all. He ended up telling her. And that's where it all started to go downhill. But it was starting to look up for Spencer and Liv. And from that point, y'all, it was a very slow uphill battle. Because we had the whole falling out between her and Layla after Layla had to find out, you know. And, you know, her and Spence, when they were about to make it official, because she came to see him and she was finally letting him know how she truly felt, and then homegirl went and hit that car. Rehab thing came back into play, and they realized that she was back drinking. She needed help. Started to make him question a little bit as well how she was over the summer, because she was drinking the entire summer. He realized she had to work towards reassuring him that the feelings she had and still has for him have always been there. She still loves him, and that's something that she was working on, as well as trying to make herself better while he's over here trying to help himself. It was a hard journey, y'all. It was a struggle to get to this point, trying to build this relationship between the two of them. And it seemed like it was never gonna happen, y'all. It was up and down, because they had to deal with all these falling outs that were happening with everyone around them, with them being together, and her dealing with her relapse, him dealing with football and trying to figure out what was going to happen and with his future, trying to see, are they going to be able to be together with everything that they have going on individually. And the fact that we finally made it by the end of the season, I was like, it's been a journey. It's been a crazy journey. And it was so worth the wait, because just the way their characters developed over time and how their relationship built up until this point now where it's official and they get to be together because of everything that they've gone through, and it's been so much, you know. They deserve it. Like I said, with him and Layla, you know, it was nice for the moment, but there wasn't no real depth to the relationship, I feel. It was more so like, okay, I feel an attraction to this person. I'm going to just play into that and see where this goes, you know. But with him and Liv, it's so genuine, and you know that it started from just a place of needing someone to talk to, wanting to be of help to someone. Yeah, you felt that initial attraction, but that didn't drive what you did for that person, how you spoke to that person. So for Liv, you know, she was nice to him because that's just who she is. She opened up to him because she felt comfortable enough to do so, and that was something that continued to build over time. And in doing that continued to build the attraction that she felt towards him. And I was just like, I didn't see that before, you know? I didn't appreciate that before. Realizing it now, you see how far they've come to get to this point, and what it was about her and what it is about her that made him fall in love with her. Yo, Spelivia season 4, it better give everything it's supposed to give, because now we're official. Feelings are out there. We have said, forget everything else. We don't care. We're getting in this relationship with each other because we want to be in this relationship with each other. It is what it is. Take it or leave it. To see that, and the fact that she's in a place now where she's gone through her recovery and she has that pretty steady, and he's doing well with, well, I mean, we'll see how this state's championship turned out. Who knows? But they're in a good place, and it's going to be so good. We're invested at this point. October, where you at? Y'all, it's been real. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.